Let's add some functionality to the calculator we made in the very first video on the front panel. To do this, we want to respond to button clicks or mouse clicks using the event structure. So grab one from your structures palette and drag it out onto your block diagram. It gives you by default a timeout event, and you can wire that into the upper left hand corner. Remember, you can always get help on these blocks and structures from the context help. So let's try making a timeout. Create a constant into the little hourglass. A -1 means it will never time out. Let's try 2 seconds and put in 2000 milliseconds. Now what do we want to have it do after that 2 seconds? Put that inside that event structure, or in that particular event. Let's have it display timeout in the display on the front panel. Alright, let's add another event. Right click up on the top and let's add an event case. Let's create an event that will handle the clicking of all the number buttons on the front panel. So in the event sources, select the button, then under events, choose how you want the program to listen to that event source. So choose the number, say you want it to respond when the mouse is clicked down on it. Go ahead and add this for all the numbered buttons on the front panel. You're done, click OK, and now let's have the program print or display the value of the number of the button in the display when it's clicked. We can do this by using the information provided inside the event structure. You can see there's type, time, control reference, etc. We're going to create a property node that will return information about the specific button that was clicked. In this case, we want to print out information from the label, and specifically the label text. Connect that to the control reference, and then wire it to the display. Alright, let's try it out. I'm going to run it. Wait 2 seconds, you'll see it still times out. Run it again, click on 5, you see that it displays a 5. Alright, let's wrap the whole thing in a while loop so that we can keep running it over and over, because your calculator wouldn't just stop after you click one button. So make sure that you create a constant so that it can run forever. And then let's try it again. You can see every time we click it, the display changes. We need to add in functionality for the clear button and for the operations. So let's go back and add those events in. You will add these last events the same way as you added the others. Now, you might be wondering why I have an event for the decimal point that's separate from all the others, and why did I put all the numbers together as one event? There are trade-offs. You could make every single button its own event, but that might lead to duplication of code. All the numbers are going to be handled in pretty much the same fashion. All the operations are going to be handled in pretty much the same fashion, so it makes sense to group these ones together into a single event, so you do not need to duplicate the same functionality over and over for each button that's similar. Once you've created an event, you need to make sure that you insert the code for each of those events into the event structure. So every time one of these buttons is clicked, I want to display its label text on the front panel. So I'm going to go back and create a property node that relies on the control reference and spits out that information to the display. Alright, I think we're ready to test it out, run it, push a bunch of buttons, and see that the display is reflecting all the buttons that we click. The event structure not only gives information about the control or the button that triggered the event, but it also has other information inside the event structure. You can see that in the case of the timeout, it has the type and the time. And the time is going to be the system time when the event occurred. So why don't we print that out, and we can see that it's happening every 2 seconds. To accomplish this, we'll need to concatenate two strings together, the timeout string along with the system time number. We'll need to convert that number into a string and feed that to the concatenate block. Alright, now let's try it out. We run it, and you'll see that in 2 seconds it gives the system time, and that every 2 seconds it increments by 2,000 milliseconds. There's a lot of information available to you inside these events. If you go into the event for all the number buttons, you'll see that you have a lot more options. For example, you even have the ability to retrieve the coordinates, the exact coordinates of the mouse click. And you can unbundle that information, and you can get the horizontal and vertical coordinates.